Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. When you look at the vibrant, chaotic, and just downright beautiful landscape of India, it's pretty obvious that the country's diversity gives rise to some truly hilarious and amazing situations. But today we're zeroing in on a very specific, very real linguistic clash, the transition from North India to Mumbai. We're going to decode the local lingo, because, as you'll soon see, the vocabulary you use on the streets of Mumbai can literally make or break your day.
So, let me ask you, are you gearing up for a move from the north down to Mumbai? Or maybe you literally just unpacked your bags? If so, consider this your absolute essential survival briefing. Now, you might be totally prepared for the obvious cultural shifts, getting used to what people wear or the different kinds of local food. But I gotta warn you, the culture shock goes way beyond your wardrobe and your dinner plate. It's actually the subtle differences in everyday language that will immediately flag you as a local or an outsider. Getting it wrong? Well, that can mean you end up paying extra for an auto ride or just getting completely ignored while trying to shop on the streets.
To really give you an idea of the sheer culture shock involved here, check out this quote from our source author, Mihika, who actually just made the move herself. She writes, "Who knew one would have to pretty much start from scratch?" I mean, that perfectly hits the nail on the head. That's the wall you hit the second you arrive. It's not just a new city, it's practically a completely new functional vocabulary.
So, to get you up to speed in no time, here is our survival guide for today. We're covering the Mumbai language shock, addressing locals and cops, navigating the city streets, ordering food and drinks, mastering the everyday slang, and finally, sounding like a local.
All right, Section 1, the Mumbai language shock and why time is ticking. The very first thing you need to understand about Mumbaikars is that they really aren't rude, but they do operate on a totally different frequency. There's this unwritten rule. You basically have exactly 1 minute to convey your message. Seriously. Folks in Mumbai just do not have a high threshold for patience. The relentless pace of the city literally doesn't allow for it. If you stumble over your words or, use the wrong regional lingo and fail to get your point across in that first minute, well, regaining a local's attention becomes an absolute Herculean task. You've got to have the right words on the tip of your tongue right away.
Moving on to Section 2, addressing locals and cops. Show some respect.
You see, getting a simple title wrong can cause immediate friction out there. Up in North India, it's incredibly common to call basically anyone Bhaiya, whether it's your auto driver, the guy selling groceries, the house help, or the building guard. But down in Mumbai, definitely avoid that. If you drop a Bhaiya, there's a really good chance you're deeply offending the person you're talking to. Instead, if you want to be polite and show some respect, just say Dada. Or calling someone boss works perfectly too. And if you really want to sound like a hardcore local, try dropping a bow.
And this rule of respect absolutely extends to the police force as well. Up in Delhi, daredevils looking to dodge the cops might brag about steering clear of the thulas. But in Mumbai, this city literally continues to function through crazy monsoons and heavy pollution thanks to the relentless hustle of the pandus. So after a late night out, Mumbaikars are keeping an eye out for pandus, not thulas. It's just a completely different term of reference.
Okay, Section 3, navigating the city streets. Don't get lost.
So if you rely on your typical North Indian vocabulary for directions, it can literally lead you down the wrong path. And this is just a brilliant illustration of why vocabulary matters so much. Imagine you're in a cab and you tell the driver, "Red light say right lena," meaning take a right from the red light. Well, you might actually end up in Kamathipura, which is Mumbai's actual red light district. Yeah, no joke. Mumbai definitely frowns upon using red light for a traffic stop. Down here, traffic stops are simply universally called a signal. Plus, as the locals are pretty quick to logically point out, how can you take a left or right from a red light anyway? You stop at a red light. So yeah, always use the word signal. Similarly, you got to keep in mind that Mumbai is not primarily a Hindi-speaking belt. So if you spot a roundabout and confidently ask your driver to navigate the Gol Chakkar, you're honestly just going to make yourself and your driver dizzy trying to figure it out. Keep it super simple and stick to the local term, circle.
Let's look at Section 4, ordering food and drinks. Snack like a local.
To make absolutely sure you never get ignored by street vendors when those snack cravings hit, let's walk through this scenario together, step by step. Step 1, when you want some refreshments or that perfect little cup of cutting chai, especially during the monsoon, you need to track down a tapri. Please do not ask your auto dada to pull over at a Panwadi. Panwadi is strictly a North Indian term for a cigarette shop, and literally no one in Mumbai is going to know what you mean. Step 2. If you want those delicious fried vegetable snacks, you gotta order bhajia. If you're standing there asking the vendor to pack up some pakoras, he's probably just gonna serve everybody else and totally ignore you. Not because he hates you, but simply because he doesn't understand you. And step 3, this is absolutely crucial. Whether you're at a local street vendor or literally standing at the counter at McDonald's or Domino's, you always ask for a parcel. If you ask for a takeaway, you're just gonna get a completely blank stare.
Section 5. Mastering the everyday slang. Blend right in.
Now here's how you decode the words used to describe that unique, overwhelming chaos and vibe of Mumbai. Look, chaos is a constant everywhere, right? But the words for it totally change. While Delhi relies on Pasad to describe everything from a jam street to a full-blown existential crisis, Mumbai uses the word girdi. You are going to hear this word constantly, especially when locals are bracing themselves for those notoriously packed local trains. And notice how people exit a social gathering. A North Indian might glance at their friends and say, "Katain," to hint that it's time to hit the road. But the coolios in Mumbai, they've got a way more energetic vibe. They'll announce they're leaving by saying, "Okay then, I'm bouncing." If you try dropping a katain in Mumbai, you're definitely going to feel a little out of place.
And what about when you want to dismiss something completely useless? You definitely need the right terminology for your dismissive thoughts too. Up north, you'd probably toss around the word faltu, but in Mumbai, you rubbish something pointless by using the word fokat. You'll constantly hear people saying fokat kahe, which basically just means it's totally worthless or a complete waste of time.
Finally, Section 6, sounding like a local, the ultimate cheat sheet.
All right, to bring this all together, let's run through a quick summary of these absolute must-know translations we've covered today. From swapping out baya for dada, to making sure you ask for a parcel instead of a takeaway, and remembering to stop at a signal instead of a red light. Literally just memorizing these direct translations is exactly what's going to turn you into a true Mumbai insider. It's going to save you time, save you money, and definitely save you from a whole lot of awkward tension with the locals.
But if you really want to fit in seamlessly, we've got a couple of bonus tips straight from our source material. You see, Mumbai's lingo is highly musical and incredibly emotional. The words carry these deep, impactful meanings that capture both the situation and the feeling right behind it. So our first bonus word to digest is jakas. When something is just absolutely top class, amazing, or just picture perfect, you call it jakas.
And our final vocabulary word for today is magaj mari. This one perfectly translates to tension, or, those completely irrelevant, frustrating mental dealings you just don't want to deal with. Knowing the right lingo and adapting to this local language is exactly what's going to help you avoid all this unnecessary magaj mari as you navigate your new city.
So as we wrap up this explainer on India's wildly fascinating regional diversity, I've just got to ask you, are you ready to pack your bags and bounce to Mumbai? Or do you think adjusting to all this new lingo is just fokat kamahaj mari? Think about it, learn the words, and really embrace that local vibe. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep learning.